Hey, what up YouTube? It's Mr. Nor14 and today I am going to do a little review on the Blink system, but it's not really a review. Basically, I've been getting questions from my fans out there about issues that they are having with their Blink security system. So what I'm going to do is going to give you about 6 things you can do to really help you in the process of solving really any issue that you have with Blink. It could be from not getting a good signal strength to your cameras from the Blink system, or it can simply be just having a long delay before the Blink system records something and then communicates it back to you that something happened. Okay, or even to say that, for instance, the interval times on your camera, your trigger times on your cameras, like you could say you're missing things because the Blink system doesn't immediately start to record and stuff like that. So basically, I'm going to give you 6 things, and they're like end-all fixes for pretty much any issue you may have with the Blink system. So I want to start out with the first thing. If you're having any issues with your Blink system, one thing you need to do is reset your modem and router. Okay? 99% of any issues that you have with any wireless device in your home comes from the fact that you need to reset your modem and router on a monthly basis. So I would say every 2 weeks to a month, power cycle your modem and router. And you say, what do I mean by power cycle? That's basically just taking the power out, counting to 30 for your modem, plugging it back in, letting it reset itself and reconfigure yourself to your signal, and doing the same thing. After you do the modem, you do the same thing to your router. Just take the power cord out, count to about 30, plug that router back in. That's after you power cycle your modem, you power cycle your router. And what that does is that allows you to reestablish that signal from whoever your provider is, and it's going to allow you to establish a strong signal. Okay, so you're going to need to do that every 2 weeks to at least once a month. I would suggest every 2 weeks to power cycle your router and modem. That will take care of 99.9% of many of the problems you're having with your Blink security system. I mean, if you feel that you're not getting your videos in a timely manner, is it taking too long for Blink to record something or to notify you that something is recorded, that will fix, again, 99% of your problems. The second thing I would tell you to do is just like something that's continuous maintenance, like restarting your router, like power cycling your modem and your router, is to uninstall the Blink app. I'm not saying uninstall the cameras. All I'm saying is uninstall the app. Okay, and you was like, why, Mr. Nor14, why would you tell us to reinstall the app? Just like your modem and router, the signal get confused and you need to just reestablish that good signal. It's the same thing you need to do with the app, because Blink updates its app probably every 2 weeks. And you got to understand that it's updating itself, it's reinstalling itself, and on your phone that could cause an issue, okay? Because you're reinstalling something so many times. So you're putting code over code over code, okay? So a case in point is a lot of customers was getting an error from Blink called parse error. And that's basically an installation error. So if you are having any issues with parse error, I have a video. Please find that video. It's called Parse Error Message with Blink Security System. If you are, just go there. It's going to show you 2 things you can do to help you get rid of that parse error. But that's the whole point. That was something that the updates was causing. Okay, just because they were updating it so many times, it's just reinstalling that app over and over again with itself, and sometimes you can get some installation issues. So that's why I say delete and reinstall the app at least once a month. Okay? Because that's going to help you get out all that garbage, from the updating every 2 weeks to every week, and get that code back, and you got a clean version of the app on your phone. And this should help. And like I said, to give you an example, was the parse error, issue I was getting in the beginning when I first purchased my Blink unit. Another thing that can help you with many of your errors if you're not getting a strong signal and things like that is basically to position your sync module in a better place so that you're getting a strong signal. Now, a lot of people tell me, it says, I'm not getting a strong signal. My camera's not acting right because it doesn't have a strong signal. A lot of people don't believe that once they sync their router to the Blink sync module, that they have to keep it near the router. That's not true. You can pretty much move that sync module anywhere in your home. And that's where you find the positioning for it that's ideal, where it's far enough from your router where it's okay, and then it's far enough from your cameras. It's like in a central location now. They say that the sync module can be 100 feet away from a camera. I believe that. I have a 3,000 square foot home, counting my basement and my upstairs. Okay, I get 4 bars. Nothing is below 4 bars in my home. But I had to do some things to make sure that I not only had a strong signal, to everything, but I also had the correct distance, the connection distance between everything. And so, like I say, positioning is so important when you talk about using the Blink system. And like I said, you do not have to have the Blink sync module next to your router. Once you establish the connection with your router, you can basically move that sync module anywhere in your home. Okay, so that you can find that sweet spot where the sync module is close enough to your router, but at the same time close enough to your cameras. Like I said, my router is in my basement and my sync module is on the main floor of my home. They're not even near each other. So that's why I tell people, take some time and learn the sweet spot in your home where you could put your sync module as far away from your router as you can, but close enough to everything that it basically, is in a central location where your cameras are getting a good signal as well as your sync module is getting a good signal to your router. Now, along with positioning, okay, the next thing you should do is go out and buy a second sync module. I tell people this. Don't just use one sync module. I have 8 cameras in my home. Okay? I have 4 connected to one sync module and another 4 connected to another sync module. I have it basically, the inside cameras are connected to one, the outside cameras are connected to the other. Basically, what that does is people have to understand that the sync module is a low-powered device. Okay? It is designed to use the least amount of power it can to talk to the cameras and to keep everything running. So it ain't doing a whole lot of multitasking. Okay? It's doing one thing at a time. So just think if you had one sync module working with 8 cameras. Okay? You see how slow that is? And people wonder why their videos are taking so long to get to them. They're getting a warning. It's because that sync module is doing too much. Even though the sync module is designed to work with 10 cameras, if you cut the amount of cameras, you cut the amount of work that it does. Thus, you're going to get your signals faster. You're going to get your warnings faster. Your cameras are going to work better with the system. Why? Because you're not asking one sync module to do everything. But mostly on top of that, by using two modules, you're getting the ability to schedule things. So I always keep my outside cameras on, but I have my inside cameras scheduled to cut on and off at certain times. Okay, so you're limiting the work of the sync module, okay, by spreading it between two. They don't interfere with each other. Like I said, ever since I've added my second sync module, my signal's been stronger. I've been getting my messages faster. Why? Because my one sync module does not have to operate 8 cameras. Instead of operating 8 cameras, it's only operating 4. So remember that you can go in and add as many sync modules as you want. Okay? To me, I haven't experienced any interference between them. All I've experienced is just having a great connection. Okay, so go out there and do that. That's another thing you should do, is just purchase, a second sync module. And another thing that you can do besides that is get a mesh network. A mesh network is basically, I don't know if you know about the Netgear Orbi. Okay, the AC3000 is the best one they make. Okay, that's basically a mesh network. Is basically where it gives you 2 routers. Okay, but they're on the same frequency. Okay, you don't have to worry about changing the password or the name. They're all on that. They're sharing that network, and what they're doing is meshing it together. So you can have one mesh network downstairs, another mesh network upstairs, and basically what it's doing is shooting out a 360-degree signal throughout your whole home. Like the Netgear Orbi 3000, it's going to cover 5,000 feet if you have 2 of them. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to give you a mesh network. And the thing that's great about a mesh network is that you don't lose speed. Okay? That's the thing about a mesh network. You're going to get high rates of speed between your router and any device you have. So that's the thing that causes a lot of the issues with the Blink system, is that the farther away that your router is from your sync module or from the cameras, the slower the speeds are going to be. Okay? The closer you are, the faster the speed's going to be. But if you have a mesh network and you have something that's you have 2 routers and it's meshing together that network for you, then it's going to allow you to connect at high rates of speed. So I always tell people, if worst come to worst and you're not getting a good signal, go out and purchase a mesh network. Now, again, mesh networks are expensive. Okay, the Netgear Orbi, which right now is the best one that's going to give you the fastest speeds, okay, runs you about $349. Well, I didn't want to do that. Not that I couldn't afford the Orbi or anything, but because it's cheaper ways you can get a mesh network. Now, I went out and purchased the Link System EA7500 MU-MIMO router. Okay, and that'll cost you, it's under $100 right now. I seen a refurbished one that you could purchase for $49. Okay, so that's my router. And then I went out and got the AC1900 range extender, and it's a range extender, but it's also MU-MIMO range extender. So what it does is it mimics a mesh network but the downside is you don't get the faster speeds that a mesh network would give you, but it acts like a mesh network. So basically my range extender takes the signal of my router. It doesn't have me change the password. It doesn't have me change the name of my router. It just meshes on to that router signal and it extends it throughout my home. Okay, so that's why I'm also getting no less than 4 bars from any camera in the home. Okay, simply because I have this, I call it a fake mesh network, but it's a cheap fake mesh network. Okay, where I didn't have to pay $300 and some dollars. I paid $150, and voila, I had the effects of a mesh network, and I have no camera that's under 4 bars. Okay, so that's another thing you can do. Go out and purchase the EA 7500 and the AC 1900 MU-MIMO equipped devices that work together, that act like a mesh network. And like I said, for under $150, you can set that up in your home, and that'll correct many of the issues you might have with not having, your cameras have enough signal to operate correctly, or that you're waiting a long time for your system to warn you that, they have footage or something. So that's another thing you can do. Okay, it's basically get a mesh network or get the EA 7500 and a range extender like I did and mimic a mesh network. Okay, that'll help you. Now, the fifth thing is if everything you try doesn't work, you can always call customer support. Okay, now Blink, their customer support is a little, messed up, because the fact is you can only get a hold of them in an email. Okay, but usually within 24 hours they get back to you. I've never had it where they haven't solved my problem. Okay, always get a hold of these guys, because a lot of people don't understand that they know exactly what's going on with your camera system, because they're getting that information of what's not working, if a camera hasn't updated properly and things like that. They know because they're getting the readout. When Blink first came out, it used to have the issues, like you could push a little tab and it would show you any log where it was an issue. If a camera didn't get updated and Blink, you would know. But then they took that feature out when they updated, and now only the tech support can get those logs that tell you. But I think they should put it back in, honestly, because it makes you more aware and you're better able to help them solve your issue when you can see what's wrong with your system and you can try to diagnose. And that's why I said in the beginning, I got so good at solving the issues of my Blink system, because in the beginning I had that log. So I didn't really need tech support to solve my issues. If I knew a camera wasn't getting a proper update, I just deleted the whole thing and reinstalled, or that didn't delete the whole thing, just deleted that camera and reinstalled it. Voila, it would then get the update. But since I don't have access to that information anymore, they do. So always call customer support. They'll know what's wrong with each individual camera. They will know if the sync module is not acting right. They will know if a camera did not get updated right. And they can send out an update. Case in point, when I first got my XT night vision cameras, at first the night vision was bright and beautiful and you could just see everything. So basically what they did when they first came out, they just put the brightness on the highest standard it could be on, the night vision. So it was bright. But then after a while, they sent out an update because they was like, okay, this is too bright. Okay? And so they sent out an update that downgraded the brightness. Okay? Well, my camera didn't get that update. Or it did, but it didn't act right. Well, he said, what I need you to do is to take a picture of your night vision or a video and send it to us so that we can analyze the video. Well, he saw that you couldn't see anything, and I showed him a picture of before. I said, this is how bright it used to be. So he actually went in and he said, this is what I want you to do. I'm going to, on my end, update that specific camera. Okay, and if you have any issue, and what I want you to do is after we update it, send me some video of the footage. And then you can see that after he updated it, the camera worked right, it got the update. And that was really the issue, is that when the sync module was sending out an update before, it didn't get to it, or it didn't work right. So he resent out the update to the camera, and then it started working again. So that's why I say, as close to a last resort, is to call customer support. Because, like I said, these guys, if you tried all what I'm saying before, number 5 would be to call customer support, for the simple fact is that they know every issue that is happening to your camera. Okay? Every issue, and they can update an individual camera, on their end to a better software update, just in case your camera didn't get that update. Okay, now the last thing I would suggest, okay, you call customer support. Customer support is not working. They can't help you. Delete everything. Delete the cameras, delete the app, and reinstall from the start. Okay, that would be my last and final thing to get your Blink system working. If all else fails, if you have a poor signal and things like that, is just to delete everything. Now that is the last resort. If you've given up with everything and you just, you at your last straw and you like, man, this system suck. That's what I would suggest you do, just to reinstall everything. And again, that's like a 99.9% fix to everything. It'll fix any and everything that you're having an issue with. Okay, because what it's doing is it's just reinstalling everything. A lot of people don't know that there's a factory reset on your Blink module. Okay, do that too. Okay, first hit that and reset it back to factory settings, and then delete. Okay, so like I was saying before, I had a little technical difficulty there. Is basically there's a reinstall button, a factory reinstall button on your sync module. So what I want you to do is to delete the app, delete the cameras, delete everything. I want you to factory reset your Blink sync module and reinstall everything. And that is like the 99% fix to any issue you are having. If that's like the last resort, if you contacted customer support, they're not being able to solve your problem, do that, and that should solve 99% of any issue that you are having with Blink. So what we're going to do now is we're going to recap everything and everything I suggested. First, delete and reinstall the app. That's the first thing you do. Don't delete the cameras or anything. I'm just saying reinstall the app on your phone, because Blink updates the apps every week, every 2 weeks, and when you reinstall and stuff like that, code is getting mixed in and messed up. So sometimes just to clear out all the crap on your phone, just reinstall the app. Don't delete the cameras. Just reinstall, delete and reinstall the app. 2, do a power cycle of your modem and router every 2 weeks to every month. Now these 2 things, the 1 and 2 things I'm saying, this needs to happen as preventative maintenance. These are things that you should do twice a week or once a month. Okay? Delete and reinstall the Blink app on your phone and power cycle your router and modem. This thing, if you do that, it is going to keep your system running great. The 3rd thing I suggest is positioning. Remember, when you install your sync module, okay, to your router, you can pretty much move the sync module anywhere. It doesn't have to be by your router. So find the perfect position where it's far enough from the router and it's far enough from your cameras in your home to work perfectly. Okay, like I said, I have my router downstairs and I have my sync modules on my main floor. Okay, they're not even next to each other. Okay, so you got the positioning. Another thing you can do, which is the 4th thing, is have more than one sync module. Okay, you can do that. You can put more than one sync module in your home. That's going to give you a better signal. That's going to make sure that your cameras are talking to each other in a more efficient way. Because remember, the Blink system is a low power operating device. I have 8 cameras. I had one sync module talking to 8 cameras. Things got a little slow. Even though you can hook up 10 cameras to one sync module, things are going to get slow. But just think, if you have eight cameras and you add another sync module, then you have one camera working with 4, another camera working with 4. So it's going to work more efficiently. Okay? And I'm getting great signal strength. I'm not waiting for emergency alerts more than 2 minutes. I'm getting them within less than 15 seconds. Okay? So that's what you can do. Just add another module. The last thing I would say, one of the last things I would suggest you do, the number 5 thing, is basically call customer support. They know exactly what's going on with your system because they're getting the error messages. They have the log of everything that's happening with your system. Okay? And then the number 6 thing to do, if all else fails, basically just delete the system altogether. Okay? Delete the cameras, delete everything, hit the factory reset button on your sync module and reinstall it from factory, and that should work. This is Mr. North 14. I hope this helps. Peace. I'm out.